Okay, here we go. We're going to take this apart, this Lewmar single speed winch. So the first thing you need to do is remove this little clip. It's actually just kind of rolled around there, so you use a screwdriver and pop that off. I've already done that in this video. So once you've done that, then this little plate right here on the top kind of comes off. We'll just kind of cheat a little bit, turn it upside down, and that exposes the upper pawls. So the upper pawls are used in this winch to for the handle, and they rotate in one direction only. Now the next step in taking this apart is to get the bottom base off. Once you've removed the clip, the whole unit just kind of comes apart. If you just push on the top here, so what I'm doing is pushing on the top. You see the bottom piece kind of coming off. And when you take the bottom off, what happens is, it's kind of hard with one hand. Hang on a second, I'll pull it with two in a second. So you can see that basically all the screws kind of popped out and the whole thing kind of came apart. Now I have two pieces, this piece here, which is the base, and the upper part. And now you can see on the bottom here are the two lower pawls. Now this one has already been cleaned, so these pawls are in great shape right now. But these pawls are the ones that are used to prevent this ring right here from going the wrong direction. So it makes the winch so it only turns one way. This is a single speed one-way winch, and it's a pretty basic winch. Okay, so now these pawls, they come out too. I'm not going to remove them right now, but there's a small spring. It might be hard to see. Let's see if we can get in there and take a look at it. We kind of zoom in right here. You can just barely see the tip of the spring right in the center of the pawl. It's just a really, really tiny spring. And all you have to do is kind of squeeze that together and pull the pawl out. All those pawls need to come out and get cleaned in a degreaser. Thoroughly cleaned and then reinserted. And to reinsert them again, you just squeeze the spring together and lift. They come out pretty easily. They won't really come out because they're in a groove in this model, which is great. When the spring is in there, they kind of sit in a little groove. So that's helpful because they won't just fall out on you. This particular winch has a self-tailing cover, which is just kind of an option. You can buy new ones of those, so that's not a big problem. Okay, so now once we've taken those apart, then the next step is to get lubricant on there, and we'll cover that in a bit later. But the biggest point is that these pawls shouldn't have any grease on them. They're oil only, because they will gum up and make your winch not operate correctly. But just to give you an idea how to put it back together, let's do that next. So it's pretty much the opposite of what you just did. So I'm going to put these screws back in this base. So if you were installing this on a boat, what you might want to do is just install the base first and then put the top on afterwards, which is certainly an option. So you basically will you'll put all the screws back in this, attach it back to the boat, use a marine adhesive caulk substance to make sure they stay on there good. And then once you have this in there, then once you've placed this on the ground, then all you need to do is take the top unit right here and kind of drop it on the base here. Now when you do that, the pawls are going to prevent you from sliding it completely on. So you're going to have to kind of rotate it clockwise while you're putting it on to get the pawls to line up. Now what I'm doing is I'm hitting the screw. So if this were a real installation, you wouldn't have that happen, but it's not. So I'm going to have to lower these screws down a little bit. See, they're kind of going through, but they're not exactly going through yet. Anyway, the last screw is kind of stuck. Let me just fix that. All right, there we go. And now you can push it the rest of the way through. So if you look at the top, now I'm stuck on the pawls again. So again, if I just rotate it, you can see where I'm stuck right there. The pawls are just touching that ring right there. So there's two ways to fix it. One is to push the pawl in with your finger, and the other one is to just rotate it. Either way works fine. In this model, I'm going to use 2 hands for this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull those 2 pawls back by hand and then push it the rest of the way in. So I only moved it a little bit just so you can see that I just got it past those 2 pawls by pulling these guys like that. Then you just push it the rest of the way in. Once you have it all the way in, it's not as easy to do with one hand again. Hold on. Once you have it all the way in, you'll see it kind of snaps into place, sort of. And then you just put this cover back on. And if you did it correctly, I didn't, it would completely be above this ring. So let me push a little bit harder. There we go. And now it's all the way in, and you can see that there's a little bit of a gap there where this ring is going to go in to lock it in place. And that's it.